Welcome in. I am the Crypto Bull God, and this is all in the charts. If you appreciate the content, make sure to hit the thumbs up button, drop me a comment, and click that bell icon for all notifications to know when I go live each and every single weekday. Let's fucking go, Oof. Shout out to Oof on the Wojak call from a couple days ago. So we're going to delve a little bit more into that, I think, next week on the meme coins video. But for today, guys, look, I'm going to be honest with you. Like, we're in the middle of the week today. What did I say yesterday? I said I took a guess. And said, well, today's going to be more of a green day than a red day. Thursday might be a really good day. Friday we might be chipping and chopping. Well, we're chipping and chopping today, guys. Point is, price really hasn't done much. Like, it's challenging to come out to a live stream and like I've said in the past, and cover daily price action when there really isn't too much to talk about. And quite frankly, I've been rather busy today, so I haven't had time to really spend coming up with an alternative sort of alternative agenda for today in terms of what I wanted to cover besides price action, which I've covered price action, honestly, in nauseum in the past week. So you should know key areas of price confluence that you should be watching for. Perhaps what we could do today. Of course, one of the things I did want to make you aware of, kind of checking out the calendar here, we do have a monthly close on Friday. Now, more than likely, unless if there are some really strong positive developments on Friday, I will not be live streaming on Friday. As you know, I have my new revamped schedule that I shared with you guys. But we do have a monthly close on Friday. Okay, we do have a monthly close. And so what I'd like to do is I'd like to try to live stream on Sunday if I can to start off the week. And we kind of focus our view on how some of these key monthly charts have closed out. So stay tuned for that on Sunday. That'll definitely not be Saturday. I'll be unavailable Saturday, but on Sunday I should have some time that we can do that in the evening. But like I said, perhaps what we could do today, we could spend a little bit of time having a conversation regarding some charts we haven't looked at in a while. I still have the GME open from yesterday. Look at all these charts. You can see I really haven't done much charting today at all whatsoever. Really have done very minimal charting today. And the charting that I have done is actually open on a separate window. So like I said, Bitcoin price action, it's doing what it's doing. But let's take a look at some other charts that you and I have not looked at in quite some time. One chart that I would be curious how it's doing, quite frankly, is Cardano. We haven't looked at Cardano in a long time. And I know it's been having weaker price action. Now, when we zoom out, though, so this is a 2-week chart on Cardano, ticker symbol ADA. Or as as Jim Cramer likes to refer to Cardano, Cardanzo, for all those who are aware of what I'm referring to. When you zoom out on this chart, besides the fact that there's way too much clutter on this chart and I need to clean it up, it just looks too busy to me. We are, despite it underwhelming the market and not performing as strongly as a lot of other projects in the space, when you actually zoom out on the chart of Cardano, it's a very bullish chart. There's nothing that isn't bullish about this. We've been in an uptrend since 2020, right? We have a low, a high, a higher low here, and we're just waiting for a higher high to come in. Again, there isn't anything not bullish about this chart in terms of the overall structure when we zoom out on a higher time frame. It's just been a lot of this recent price action has kind of been abysmal, which is why Cardano, I believe, is in the 10 spot, right? Let me refresh this. Bring up my desk a little. This thing is way too low. There we go. Did it fall out of it? Okay, number 9. Shiba Inu is 10. Okay. Regardless, price action's been a little boring, right? Same thing with XRP. We'll take a look at an interesting chart that I put together for myself recently I was looking at with Cardano and XRP. So price action on Cardano, not too much to speak to here. Nothing super exciting going on. But one thing I did want to take a look at, let's take a look at XRP, but let's take a look at a Cardano XRP relativity chart as well. That was something I was recently looking at. So if we check out XRP, And again, let me just say this about XRP for anybody here who owns it. A couple quick comments. In my opinion, having been here for a very long time, I think it would be smart of any investor to have, even if it's a very, very little amount, to have some exposure to XRP and XLM. I've said that for a long time. So that's just my opinion. But I've also seen, another thing I want to comment on, I've seen a lot of price targets out there to me that look very unreasonable, right? Now, there are some Elliott wave technicians out there, and I can't speak for how credible they are in terms of being proficient in Elliott wave analysis, but they could very well know much more than me, who have higher price targets than what I've signaled to you guys. You know, I've said, let's first get to that $3 to $5 range, and then we could maybe talk about $7, but I really don't see this going any higher than $5. There are people with price targets of $10 plus. I just don't see it happening anytime this year or next year. But we'll see. The chart to me, kind of when we zoom out here, it is very bullish macro perspective that we've been coiling up here. The only thing I don't like to see, this upwards trend here that's been in place for a very long time. You can see we've broken below it, which is expressing weakness. Also, you know, when you kind of, again, zoom out in a 5,000 foot view, the other thing to keep in mind, this is a weekly chart, in sometimes the most important conclusions that we can come away, some of the most important conclusions that we can come away with are some of the most basic things found within the chart. Now, the pink line is the 200 and the purple line is the 50 simple moving averages, respectively, okay? And one of the things I would point out to you is we've been spending a considerable amount of time under here. We keep trying to peek our head above the 200 and we keep dropping below it. So there's certainly a decent amount of weakness in the price. Again, something else I would say about XRP that is not a fan favorite to say, I believe it's going to fall out of the top 10. Now, there's just so much competition right now in the market. I'm not saying that it's permanently going to fall out of the top 10, but I absolutely, once things start running and you see a new token, maybe two new tokens, jump into the top 10, XRP is going to get bumped out. Now, it could regain its market share, and by, towards the top of the cycle or end of the cycle going into a correction, you could see sharper corrections in some of those other assets, and XRP could squeeze back into the top 10. I think it and other projects, if you keep notice some of these older projects, Bitcoin Cash has actually held up fairly well. I'm kind of surprised, but still, Bitcoin Cash still has had a lot of weakness if you look to prior times. Litecoin, there's another project where there's a lot of USD price targets out there I don't agree with. And even from technicians whom I respect. Litecoin's lost space. Ethereum Classic used to be at like a top 5 project. Where's XLM? Did we already pass it? Where the hell did that? Wow, XLM's all the way down at 36. I didn't realize it fell that far. So you have a lot of these older projects that are just losing momentum. And you have a lot of newer projects gaining momentum within the space. But overall on this chart, I mean, at the end of the day, what I want to see on XRP, let's regain convincingly the 200 simple moving average. That's right around 60 cents, right? This thing's just hovering right at 50 cents right now. Now, the chart I did want to look at, I wanted to look at the ADA XRP relativity value. And we can kind of make some inferences based on this. So again, the thing I'd like to point out to you guys is conceptually what we're talking about here. It's very important that you understand what this chart is illustrating. Because for me, like being the math nerd over here, it's very basic, right? But for some people, I think that they misinterpret what this chart represents. So literally all we're doing is, in this case, and we can do this really for any chart, and we've showed a lot of different relativity charts on this channel. All you do is you take one cryptocurrency USD value and you divide it by another USD value. It's a ratio. That's all it is. And so if the ratio is increasing in value, that says the cryptocurrency that's in the numerator, okay, is having more powerful price performance than the cryptocurrency in the denominator. Vice versa, if the ratio is decreasing, it tells you the number in the denominator on the bottom there is performing better than the crypto asset in the numerator. Okay, you feel like you're back in like 5th grade math, right? And actually, what grade is this? I think they should be teaching ratios. People, I don't know what it is, but people really have a problem with ratios and fractions. What is that? Like, I think we should get ratio and fractions out of the way in kindergarten, right? Let's teach that shit in kindergarten. I mean, if I had a kid, oh man, they'd be a math whiz. I am enjoying a nice 5-ounce pour of Malbec. Believe me, I weighed it for everyone who's keeping track of my nutritional commentary the past couple weeks. So anyway, what I would notice about this chart are a couple things. Now, remember, ADA is in the numerator and XRP is in the denominator. This is an ADA XRP relativity chart. Overall, the first key takeaway is we see this ratio increasing. That's telling us that overall, since 2019, Cardano has outperformed XRP. The other takeaway that I would see here is when the market topped in 2021, XRP, okay, and we know what happened during this period. We were correcting. XRP outperformed Cardano. We were in a massive downtrend, but now look what has happened. We've broken that downtrend. So are we going to reverse back up to the upside? You can actually use this, if you're real creative about it, you could actually use this for trade opportunities to get kind of switch between the two tokens. For some of you who are traders, okay, and you like to take like a small position of your, hopefully it's small position of your portfolio and trade with it, you should try doing this sometime. You should create a relativity chart, and you should essentially trade between two assets that show a strong chart that you can decipher, you can read, and you can make decisions based on. So I'll tell you based off of that chart. So I'll tell you what I see in this chart and what it means for the price of XRP and the price of Cardano relative to one another moving forward. So first off, what I want to do is I actually want to condense price action here. Okay. So I wanted to have less candlesticks on the chart to make it easier to kind of graph out what I'm seeing. Appreciate everyone tuning in today, getting a little bit more engagement than yesterday. Yesterday was a little bit of a dead live stream. There weren't really too many people here. So appreciate the engagement on the thumbs up activity, as CBG needs all the love he can get, especially when CBG disappears twice due to his health conditions and he sees his subscriber base decreasing. Okay, so we have a couple areas of resistance here. We have a massive area. I'm going to take this off here just so we don't have less lines. Now, the other thing I would point out here, you have ultimate support on this uptrending line here, right? But notice that even on the 2-week chart, and it was on the weekly as well. No, it wasn't on the weekly. We just fell below. But on the 2-week chart, we are above the 20 simple moving average. Excuse me. That's what the orange line is. Okay, so we're above the 20 simple moving average. Historically, when we've been above the 20 simple moving average, we've seen favorable price action, right? Got a decrease here and then ran right up. Bounced off here and went right up. So it'll be interesting to see if the 20 simple moving average forms as an area of support. If we do, and I'll tell you in layman's terms what this means, if we do see a drop in relativity value here, I would suspect roughly this area to hold. So what I'm saying is, in the shorter term here, what we could see is, we could see XRP outperform Cardano. If this holds, if the price confluence holds that I'm showing, we have the potential to see outperformance in XRP currently relative to Cardano by about 36%. However, what I would say is we got about 37% downside, but the upside looks potentially a lot higher. To me, unbiasedly reading this chart, we appear to be in the midst of a trend reversal to the upside. In fact, this almost looks like an inverse head and shoulders, to be honest with you. I just saw this right now. Right here, shoulder, shoulder. You got the gap here. You take the measured move up. So I know that was a horrible drawing, but it almost looks like we have a inverse head and shoulders, which is bullish. So to the upside, what I'm saying is We have potential upside ultimately from current levels in Cardano relative to XRP of anywhere between 38 to 75 to basically 200% or 250% or more. I believe over the coming year here, unless this chart breaks down, what you're going to see, what this chart is telling me from a probabilistic perspective is in the course as this market begins to find its top, whether that's 4, 5, 6 months from now or even a year from now, this chart is telling me that in the midterm here, I am anticipating Cardano to outperform XRP, okay? So, again, unless if the price confluence falls apart. Juan, welcome in. Good to see you. Track, very good to see you, my friend. Shiba Inu flipped Cardano. Oh, did it? Oh, well, it will. It definitely will. It's going to be right behind Doge, no question. And then Doge is going to flip XRP. And then everyone, at some point, people are going to be calling for something to flip Ethereum. Guys, I got news for you. Nothing is going to flip Ethereum. Can we just have like a logical conversation for a second? What in the hell is going to flip Ethereum? Ethereum is sitting at essentially $500 billion. The next closest is Tether, which is 1/5 the size. After that is Binance Chain. BNB token is 1/6 of the size. Let me make a fraction out of that for you. It's about 16%, I think, or something like that. 16.777% or something. What in the hell? CBG. What is up? Math in the head. Math in the head. BNB is 16.7% of the market capitalization of Ethereum. And for those people who say Solana is going to flip Ethereum, it's about 1/6. It's 1/6, 1/7 the size. XRP, it's a joke. It's not even 10%. Look at the market cap. It's 29 billion. It's not even 10% of Ethereum. Guys, nothing is flipping Ethereum this cycle. I'm not telling you that 5 years from now something isn't going to flip Ethereum. That's not what I'm telling you. What I am telling you is this year and next year, there isn't anything that's going to flip Ethereum. But all of these tokens in the 4, 5, really your BNB, your Solanas, your XRPs, your Dogecoins, your Cardanos, your Shiba Inu, they're close enough in value that they could begin flipping one another. Plus, the size of these relative to some of these other ones and some that haven't run yet, you're going to see some new top 10 tokens. Believe me that. Believe you that. You will see some new top 10 tokens. Pambi. All right, if we have time at the end, I'll take a look at it. Well, we'll see. Cardano's definitely lost some momentum. Like I said, I still think when you zoom out on the chart, big picture, it still does look very bullish. I think the worst case, I honestly think the worst case for Cardano is we double top here. But I do think in Cardano we're going to create new all-time highs. Absolutely. I think the chart's too bullish. It's just going slower than the rest of the market. It's moving at a snail's pace relative to how exciting a lot of these AI plays and meme plays are. But there isn't anything, again, I'd make a similar comment about, let's pull up Matic real quick. Because I know Matic has been disappointing me personally. And I know it's been very lackluster. But let's look at the chart. Yeah, the chart isn't weak. But what I would say, again, just unbiasedly here, again, it's not good to see in 2024. It's not good to see this, right? If this was a stronger performing altcoin, if Polygon Matic was a stronger performing altcoin, it would have come up here and created a new high in 2024, just like Solana, right? We would have been up here past $1.60, but we created ultimately a lower high here. Okay, that's not good to see. But we do have the higher lows coming in. Don't lose sight of the higher lows. But again, I try to, and I did this with you guys many months back. This was way back in 2023. We took a look at the structure of many different altcoins, and we essentially categorized them. I don't know if anyone here remembers that, if you guys remember that. XDC will flip Ethereum. Dude, you're on crack. Juan, you are on some ecstasy, crack, and cocaine. Of course, are crack and cocaine the same thing? I don't know. Anyway, allow me to finish here. So there was a live stream in early 2023, and essentially what we did is we bucketed different assets into different categories. Their charts were either very strong, essentially very strong, decent, or poor, right? This right now, relative to a lot of other projects, if you compared price action for 2023 and 24, I would say it's sort of like somewhere in the middle, like fair. It's not poor, it's not great, it's just somewhere in the middle, right? Whereas, I mean, if you looked at XRP, you looked at Cardano, yeah, they've been pretty abysmal. But Matic has really been underperforming. But again, when you zoom out, similar sort of commentary that I would make for Cardano, when you kind of zoom out on the entire chart, you can see kind of creating a fractal from this time period here. We spent a long period of time just chopping in here, and then we had a large explosive movement up. Ever since we found our bottom here back in 2022, Matic found its bottom much earlier than a lot of other projects. We've just been sideways consolidating in here. In many ways, as lackluster, I will say this though, in many ways as lackluster as price has been on Matic, it is actually very healthy to create the market structure in this area. It's essentially providing a level of stabilization for price. It's creating a really big floor that it can potentially launch off of to really have a lot of momentum to form new all-time highs. So we'll have to see what happens with Matic. But Matic, I think, has dropped to, what, 18, I saw? Yeah, I mean, this was all the way up, I think, at like 12 at one point. It's dropped behind Chainlink. Other charts, too. I got to tell you, Holy Crypto Trinity has really been disappointing. H-bar has been so-so. Even H-bar hasn't been the greatest. But, I mean, look at Mana. Mana was all the way down here at, I mean, it's just floating around. Let's take a look at Mana's chart. Mana and Harmony One, both their charts. Just really disappointing. Let's take a look here. Oh, I got that Raging Bull. Tony the Bull. I mean, a little bit, actually, believe it or not, a little bit of a greater strength in here than what we saw in Cardano and Matic, because at least in 2024, we double topped here. I mean, this is a double top. We didn't set a lower high, we double topped. So, but still lackluster performance. Now, this is a more volatile asset. It has a lower market cap. It's only at, what, 860 million, which is relatively small. And we kind of zoom out on this chart here, and that's what, one of the things I would encourage you guys to do, if you're holding an asset and you've become very discouraged with the price, and you feel yourself getting frustrated, right? Let's just say you feel like for the past several weeks, you see Whiff or Pepe or something going off, and you're sitting in Matic or you're sitting in Mana, Decentraland or something, and you're really frustrated, right? Even the past couple months, that's how it feels. I would encourage you to just zoom out and recognize the entire view on the chart, right? So even if we try to condense price action even further, let's go to a 3-week chart. We never look at a 3-week chart. If we go to a 3-week chart, I mean, things are looking a lot better, right? If we go to a 2-month chart, it just kind of helps to keep perspective, right? We essentially, I mean, now looking at this chart, what you can easily see is we came down here, created a lower high, double bottom, came up, double topped. We have a nice, to me, it looks like a nice rounding bottom, to be honest with you. You zoom out on this, it looks like a nice rounding bottom. Now we've come back here, created a higher low, and it looks like we're setting up for higher price action. But I understand, you know, if you've been here for a while like myself, again, I've been invested since 18. I've been through a lot of these cycles. I know how frustrating the price action can get. You have to remind yourself why you purchased the asset that you purchased, and also be honest with the chart and make sure that you're not getting too stuck in the lower time frame price action, and you're keeping a perspective on the higher time frame price action. Let's see who else we have here. Oh man, Algorand. Let's take a quick look at Algorand. You know, Algorand, I was looking at that the other day for some reason, not the chart, but just how far it fell in market cap. This is this is too much price confluence here. This is gonna make me vomit. Oh my God. Jesus. All right, let's just, I don't know, this chart's making me nauseous. Put price confluence there. Ugh. Jesus. Way too many lines. So you can see we have support here. This is an asset again. I think Algorand used to be in like the top 20, right? Or at least close to it. Now this is a chart, guys. Now, again, remove the fact that this is Algorand. I'm just taking an unbiased look at this chart. This is a chart that makes me want to vomit, similar to Casper, right? I've shared with you guys, I've been very open, man. The Casper chart, I'm not saying one day it's not going to be up 100% and people are going to say, oh, CBG, you've been shitting on trolling the Casper community. I'm not trolling anyone. I'm telling you honestly what's in the charts. It's been an underperformer. Just like Algorand. I mean, this is a horrendous looking chart. Now, people sometimes take the words that myself or other good technical analysts out there say, and then they turn it into something they're not saying. I'm not telling you that price can't do something like this, right? And we correct, and then we're all the way up here like 8 years from now. But I personally don't want to put my money in something that looks like this, just hoping that 8 years from now it returns a solid investment when there's so many other better looking charts out there. This is a horrendous looking chart, guys. Keep in mind, this was a point I wanted to make at some point this week during one of these live streams. This is a very important point, so please, if you're sort of multitasking, which I do a lot when I catch live streams, make sure that you do hear this very important point. Again, this is something to me that is very intuitive, and once I say it, it will make sense, but keep it in mind. It is much easier for anyone assessing a chart to come up with a hypothesis in terms of what they think is most and least likely over the course of the next month, couple weeks, several months. It is much more difficult to give a hypothesis and view 20 years from now, right? So what is that example speaking to? It's speaking to the fact that as we increase our time frame in terms of how far we're looking out into the future, it decreases our probability of precision in what we can accurately assess as being a possibility, a reasonable possibility. Does that make sense? It's like anything else. If you increase the amount of time on your projection horizon, there are too many variables, too many uncertainties that you're going to come up with a less accurate prediction, right? Versus, I mean, this probably, if that isn't making sense, which it absolutely should, I'll give you the most extreme example. If I pulled up a 10-second chart, I have premium access so I can do this. If I pulled up a 10-second chart on Bitcoin, or let's use 30 seconds, if I could give you a really accurate prediction on what Bitcoin's going to do in the next 3 minutes, just based on this chart, absolutely, I could come up with a range in the next 3 minutes. What I couldn't do is put this thing on a 2-month chart, okay, that's an ugly chart, and say, okay, well, based on this chart, I think in the year 2029. And that's why I don't really know where I was going with this, but, we were talking about Algorand. And that's why I get so frustrated when I see people that have, some of the people in the space who have the biggest microphones and the largest voices give these astronomical price targets for some of these assets, most notably Bitcoin, that first off make absolutely no sense. And secondly is just a hope and a Hail Mary. Like, no one has a clue what Bitcoin's price is going to be in 2030. So when you I'm not going to name channels, I'm not going to name influencers, but when you tune into those thumbnails about Bitcoin going to 1 million, and Kathy Wood said this, and Michael Saylor, who sniffs cocaine off his desk, says this. When you see all these things, you learn more and more that it's the stuff you shouldn't be paying attention to, right? It's just the stuff you shouldn't be paying attention to. You really want to tune into those technical analysts that are going to unbiasedly look at a chart like this and say, okay, well, I mean, if I'm investing for this cycle and I think this cycle is going to run out sometime this year, or maybe mid next year, maybe it goes longer than I expect, I certainly wouldn't want to invest in something like this with a 6 month to 1 year time frame, because the chart looks like shit. I'm not throwing my money in this for the next 10 years. In my opinion, that's silly, especially in a volatile space. When you're investing in an extremely volatile space like crypto, the most volatile sector of anywhere that you can find, unless if it's like retirement money, or even there you want to have power over it, but or it's a very small amount of your wealth, you certainly want to be actively managing that. And you don't want to just let it sit there for the next 20 years, in my opinion. You don't want to do that. These cycles are way too advantageous, and a lot of these assets completely take a shit and fall apart. There's been a lot of negative publicity lately about VCs, right? Venture capitalists. You can look at a chart look at Algorand right now, okay? You could talk about the SEC and you could talk about whatever you want. The chart is the chart, right? This is a pile of shit. If you look at, here's another call that has not gone well. Again, I'm one of the few guys who comes out here and speaks to this. Synapse. I haven't charted this forever. Take a look at this shitty chart. Okay? This thing still hasn't recovered and gotten up to $4, right? Might be in a buy area right now. I might actually take a look at it. No. But Synapse is another chart. I mean, very nasty looking chart. And again, I'm not trolling anyone. I'm just keeping it real. Because this one, look at this shitty chart. I mean, yeah. At some point, more than likely, we'll be up here, right? But all the meanwhile, while you were dealing with this bullshit, you could have taken your money and invested it in something that did a 5x or 10x, right? Instead, the chart just is not good. So, key takeaway, always be honest with yourself when you're looking at these charts. Key takeaway for everyone new. If you are new in this space, and I mean this, and I'm putting all kidding aside right now, if you are new in this space, don't feed into the people on X or YouTube who claim to be the strongest supporters of an asset. And don't get into this cult-like mentality. Assess a chart for what it is. Assess a project fundamentally for what it is and be honest with yourself. It's your hard-earned dollars that you're putting into these assets. And you want to make sure that you know what you're investing in and you're honest whether or not a chart looks like this. Okay, does a chart look like this? Or does a chart, well, you saw, look like Algorand, okay? So always be honest with yourself. It's your money, guys. What else? I think we're up against time. I need to make myself some din. What are you guys having for dinner today? I am making some, well, I actually already pre-made some chicken. So quite often, I mean, if I'm just cooking for myself and I'm not cooking for anyone else, I don't make exciting things. I do like cooking a lot. And it is fun if you're in a relationship with someone and they like to cook and then you can cook together. But for this week, I just made food for myself and pre-made it. So I'm just having a chicken salad. And then I love the seasoning. I don't know what they put in it. But these fat-free refried beans that are from Sprouts Market, man. If you got a Sprouts Market, if you're hearing this right now, those refried beans, woo, they are good. Throw a little salsa in there or some fat-free Kraft cheese in there. Melt that. This is what I'm looking forward to right now. What else we got? Ricky, good to see you, my friend. How can you tell whether a chart is distributing or consolidating? For instance, Matic is distribution, Solana is consolidation. This is a great question, And given how much time we are into the live stream, I'm going to hold this one off for tomorrow. I'm going to hold this for tomorrow. And what I'll do is, Ricky, for you, what I'll do is, oh, shit, I got the live stream tomorrow morning. So that's a live TA Q&A. I'll hold this either for Thursday or Monday. But what I'll do is I'll give you a comparison chart. So distribution versus consolidation, right? This is a great question, Ricky, and I'm glad that you asked it. So I want to give this time I want to give enough time to that question that it deserves. It's a great question. CBG has scalping experience. And Juan, we're out of time, man. So if I remember, or if you're with me at 5:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, tomorrow's live stream, I will check it out tomorrow. Let's fucking go. The lawn care nut. I don't know who the lawn care nut is, but they know CBG. Let's fucking go! All the chips are in, ladies and gentlemen. All the chips are in. This boring sideways chop consolidation. I got enough liquidity to ride this motherfucker out. And I don't really fucking care if this goes a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. I don't really fucking care. I'm ready to go. Let's go! You will be there tomorrow morning. All right. Well, that's awesome. So make sure that you, if I don't think of it, because it's going to be pretty freaking early, I'm going to have my coffee with me. Make sure to ask me about Pambi. All right, guys. That'll do it for today. Make sure to come back tomorrow morning. Rise and shine. I'm going to be wide awake about 5:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time with an all in the charts TA Q&A session. And until next time, everybody, let's all spread awareness and let's carry the education forward. Be honest with those charts. Don't buy charts that are looking shitty. Be honest with yourself. It's your hard-earned dollars, guys. It's your hard-earned dollars.